I want to do R&D on this. You should spread these words around. Any Bitosa BIT graduate wants to do some R&D, has a good idea, let's throw it open to the industry. Let the industry accept it. I know somebody was doing those cars and all, I give them a small support, but that's not R&D. That's not R&D. Really think of something which is R&D. Infrastructure, the government is looking at it. Ports, yes, we have a lot of good ports now. Ease of doing business, somebody talked about it yesterday. I think I don't need to talk about it. It is something which the government is very seriously looking at it. The open window is being converted to open door. This is what I want to tell you. Now the government is talking about open door. No more open one single window. It's the open door, a single door, so you can walk in. That's what the government is talking about. This was the Honorable Prime Minister when he launched the Make in India. You heard him already. These are some of the vision which the country has prepared. And this is more for my colleagues who've come from abroad. This is what the targets have been put. I'm sure this is all achievable. It's all of us have to get together and do our little bit. Instead of waiting to somebody else take the lead, please do your little bit yourself and then come over and say, this is what I'm doing. I think Bitosa Global hereafter will give you a platform to post your idea that this is what is possible to be done. This is a global platform which will be available to everybody. And people will be able to see what you are capable of doing, and maybe you get an invite from one of your seniors or one of your ex-BITians who are actually doing something very well. Well, look at this rank. Alarming. Now, one of the things I picked out here is, the other things are not in our criteria, in my area as of now. One of the things I picked up is, one of the ease of business is getting electricity. Now, this is something I just want to dwell a few minutes with you. The per capita consumption of electricity in India is 917 units only. Look at China, 3,475. And if you look at the population parity, China is more than 3.5 times of India in terms of per capita electricity consumption. I am not even looking at the US and others. Now, if this is the situation, electricity generation and distribution and putting up units of manufacturing in India in electricity is absolutely a cakewalk for anybody who wants to come in. And that is why we have two eminent gentlemen from this sector who's going to speak after this. So I'm not going to dwell much upon that. I'm only going to try to say you is that there are many lobbies, many people who talk about many things. We are talking of renewables, we're talking about smart grids. But the main thing is that we still are the third largest coal reserves in the world. We are producing less than 400 million tons in a year, and China is producing 4 billion tons in a year. There is something wrong. There's a disconnect. Our reserves are more than China's or equal to them. So there is some disconnect that we are doing. We must produce electricity, and we all know electricity is the driver of the economy. We must supply electricity. People will raise in their levels in the economy, and then we can try everything that we want under the sun. I keep telling people about the concept of organic food. Now, there are many people who are very fixed to organic food, and they look for shops in Delhi who only sell organic dal, organic chawal, organic vegetables, and they buy that, even if that amounts to paying about 25% extra. Yes, we are building in our country a green grid, which will only supply green power. But for that, we have to first empower the people with enough money in their hands to spend that 25-30% more on the green grid. So that day also will come. We must reach that level. But we should not get carried away. When I see my own countrymen getting carried away about environment and others, we forget that the West has polluted everything. Now the constraint is put on you, who have not had the opportunity of doing anything. Yesterday we heard that the Indian economy was 17 to 20% of the world when the British came here in the 1700s. Today we are 3%. What happened? So, I am just putting the value chain. You have to increase coal production. That's right on top of your screen. That increases power generation. Then on transmission, which will be transmission and distribution, and then ultimately to the customer. Every product which is made must be sold. And believe me, even today, we in NTPC have unsold power. That is because of the distribution, AT&T losses and other problems, which are being attacked every day. NTPC also very consciously started this concept long time back, about 4 years back. BHEL has been doing Make in India all the while. Now we have MHI along with L&T, Alstom along with Bharat Forge, Toshiba along with JSW, Ansaldo along with Gammon, Babcock and Wilcock along with Thermax, Hitachi with BGR, and Doosan on their own. All these people are now making in India. Every unit that they manufacture does not come from Korea or Europe or Japan. It is made in India. On the solar front, we have taken an initiative. I was telling some friends yesterday that we want to put up 1,000 megawatts only make in India solar cells. But we found on survey that the capacity of production in India is only 760 megawatts, out of which the free capacity that we could get was only 150 megawatts. So 250 megawatts we want to set up now immediately, make in India. Somebody who makes solar cells in India does not import from China and assemble and put up solar power plants. That's not the way forward. The way forward is we have to make in India. But there is a thrust of the government. So we are attuned to that to put in more solar and cleaner energy so as to merge with our thermal power project. So we need to manufacture more solar panels. This is a business opportunity that you can take back. You can tell your friends in Bitosa, in outside, that come, make solar panels in India. Do it here, and there's a huge market of setting up solar projects. I would like to leave you with a small story and then this slide. I worked in Malaysia for a couple of years, and in Malaysia, the three big events in a year is the Chinese New Year, the Deepavali, and what they call Hari Raya, which is Eid. The Chinese New Year is celebrated with mandarin oranges. Like we put coconut or banana in our puja, they use mandarin oranges. And they get 4 shiploads of mandarin oranges every year. The contract is given to some Chinese firm every year, and they get the mandarin oranges. The government decided that why should the Chinese monopolize the import of mandarin oranges? We will give it to a Malay. So this particular year when I was in Malaysia in the 90s, they gave this contract to a Malay company. 4 shiploads of mandarin oranges arrived in the ports before the Chinese New Year celebrations. The Chinese boycotted mandarin oranges for the celebrations. 4 shiploads of mandarin oranges had to be disbursed into the sea because nobody bought them. Look at how beautifully they have organized themselves as a network, that if it is not being done by a Chinese, we are not going to buy it. This is something we in India have to understand. That's how Make in India will flourish. Look at this slide. Solar cell, mobile phones, even shoes, even your Lakshmi which you do puja in Deepavali, they're all made in China. Come gentlemen, let's wake up and make things in India. Thank you. I will now invite Mr. B.P. Rao, Chairman BHEL, to come and make his remarks on this very important topic that we have. Isko zara band kar dijiyega.
Well, thank you, Mr. Arup.
Shut down this, yes.
Well, thank you, Mr. Arup. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for showing that clip for the Honorable Prime Minister's speech. I'm as passionate, of course, as the Honorable Prime Minister talked about the manufacturing in India. BHEL is one of the industries set up by our forefathers. When they started following the Mahalanobis model of economy for the country, with the mandate that BHEL has to make the country self-reliant in the manufacture of power plant equipment. This was the dream of the first Prime Minister, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, so much so that he has leveraged his own contacts. He has come and done the land survey for the first unit of BHEL to be set up at Bhopal. Many people do not know that the country was being helped by Eastern Bloc countries those days for technology and manufacturing help. He could leverage his friendship at Cambridge to get the technology from a company called Associated Electrical Industries, which after a lot of transformation became today's Alstom, in which my friend Mr. Basu is heading today in India. And we are proud to say that BHEL has achieved this goal of making this country self-reliant in the manufacture of power plant equipment. In fact, some of you may not know that India is the only country other than China in the developing world to have this capability. Very few countries have capabilities to manufacture power plant equipment. It's a very high technology area. It is a beginning. In fact, today BHEL is a mother company for many of these companies. In fact, the companies what Mr. Arup talked about, they all have ex-people from BHEL. So we are proud that we made the country self-reliant. So therefore, I'm as passionate. If you look at 2011, the country made the new manufacturing policy that the GDP contribution by manufacturing is only 15%. Most of the GDP was being contributed by the service sector. 60% of the GDP is being contributed by the service sector. That's why we had, though we had growth in the economy, it was a jobless growth. It was not to the extent which it was requiring to propel for new jobs. Realizing that a new manufacturing policy has been made. But unfortunately, all the factors facilitating that have been absent. It's a policy which has been made. But to move in that direction, there are no steps. I know as almost for last 15 years, taking up various issues with the government for manufacturing in India, thanks to organizations like NTPC, Power Grid, have provided opportunities for the Indian domestic manufacturing to flourish. Here I must tell you, before 2011, there was no country in the world which had 0% customs duty on manufacture of power plant equipment, on import of power plant equipment. We were the country having 0% customs duty. Even developed nations have at least 5 to 10% duty. Mr. Basu knows how much of taking up the issue with the government almost for about 5 to 6 years, have made them realize that we only wanted a level playing field. We never said that we want protection. We said, make the playing ground level. Don't make it tilted towards the foreign players. And this was the situation. So it was very much required when the new government came in. The Honorable Prime Minister's initiative of Make in India was music to our ears. It was overdue for this country. I must tell you, in terms of skills, I'm talking about engineering skills, we are second to none. You know that our engineers have gone, all of you have gone out, most of you, wherever you have been working, how much talent we have got. It's essential now to put to use this talent. We need to provide jobs for our own people. Unless manufacturing contributes to the GDP in a qualitative manner, I will explain what is that qualitative manner when I say that. We can't create those jobs. And even services sector growth will get impacted if the basic manufacturing doesn't grow. It has its limitation in services sector. It cannot grow beyond a level. Now, Arup talked about number of initiatives which the government started making it happen. One area, particularly you coming from Jharkhand, you must be aware that we have not concentrated on material development in this country. We have been exporting iron ore, any raw material as it is, not adding any value to it. And we are importing our materials, value-added materials, at 10 times the price. There are several examples. Probably we have done the least work on materials. We are only manufacturing those mundane items which are low technology items. I talk about CRGO steel. You almost pay 10 times the normal steel price to import this. It is an opportunity cost. Very few people are holding this technology very closely to their chest. If the iron ore from India doesn't go to Japan, none of their blast furnaces will work. It's a very rich iron ore from India. But the same Japan doesn't give you CRGO material what you require, or CRGO technology you want to make in India. They won't give you. We have created a situation for ourselves that though it was required at some point of time that we need to export, but we don't have to export for years together. We need to start adding value. Ms. Arup talked about photovoltaics. He wanted, in fact, it's a very good initiative by NTPC, for identifying 1,000 megawatts for the domestic manufacturers, but he couldn't find domestic manufacturers. If you look at the scales of manufacture, in fact, that is one of the points what we need to look at. But before that, I would like to divide this topic into two, Make in India. One is external to the industry, that is the policymakers' role of how to facilitate. Because if you look at the Indian manufacturing costs, the manufacturing costs are one of the lowest